All right, Cyber Traders, good morning and welcome on back here this Wednesday, May 25th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern Time for all of us on social media, Facebook Live. You could tell once again, this is not the voice of Fausto Pugliese. My name is Josh Levitan. I'm a senior instructor, tagging in once again for Fausto this morning. I know he's picking up his son Max from college right now. He actually had to step out a bit earlier than anticipated. He was actually going to do this meeting. Got the late tag just right before we started. So great to see all of us on social media. Great to see all of us live inside the trading room. Grant, Bill, Leda, Henry, Pete, Gene, Robert, and all of us here live. The GOVX trade pushing back up once again. I mean, it's like another day where this thing's making a good push. So, easily enough, right away, we'll put this on the main watch list going into the market open. It's a stock up nearly 7%. It's something that we're really familiar with here as a team, just because we've, been pretty successful on it going into the end of last week, heading into this week. So, for right now, it's pushing back up towards the 250 level. I do have level 4 up. I do have bookmap up for this trade. So bear with me for a quick second. Just going to make sure I can get it configured on the screen. All right. So earlier we ended up seeing on the GOVX, it started to push up here initially going into the 8:30 time frame, and that's when we first called it out. I mean, it was kind of thin out there in pre-market, if we're being honest, prior to this. So it ended up beginning to push up. It caught our attention pretty quickly, and then from there, the bigger talking point is seeing this iceberg order pop up on the bid at 221. It's about a 25,000 share order on the bid. Well, that generates a strong support. That's no guarantee it's going to continue to pop, but that's a pretty interesting sign, So if you happen to see more buying coming in off of past resistance levels here, namely off of 230, 229 here, which, we ended up seeing, well, that's what led to the nice pop. So it ended up leading to a push up towards 250. Now, the issue now at this point is that you're seeing a bunch more volume join the ask. Actually earlier as this was beginning to push up, if I can, zoom out a bit, we were also calling out resistance off of 280. We were, hoping, if anything, for a run right up towards 280 going into the market open or shortly thereafter. That's still in play, but you do have some more volume joining the ask here off of 250, a little more volume that came in earlier that got filled at least at 43. But the more volume that joins the ask, it's going to be harder for this to make its, bigger push. So, right away, we'll put this on our watch list going into the open, but just be mindful of 250 for right now. Ooh, what the heck happened there? Give me a quick second. And sometimes on Windows, you just do a quick reset or you move your cursor. It like kind of minimizes every window right there. My apologies. We're good to go. All right, let's go right from top to bottom. Otherwise, folks, the ELEV trade was moving up earlier in pre-market, but man, that thing was choppy. That was not really like a great trade for us to try and capitalize on. At first it was, but it becomes something that is just a tougher, more rugged move. So we'll get to that one in a bit. Actually, to top off the gainer side here, a couple of these like cheapies below a buck. I'm not like as particular about them. I'll look HAPP, a little pop early on from 20 to 40. Nice move if you're able to get in, but these stocks below $1, they never really make as clear, concise of a move. All right. MICS. I don't know what's going on here with this 5 minute chart. My other monitor here, I'm able to show it. But nonetheless, MICS, the 1 minute, you could at least see it ended up making a big pop early in pre market. Like, as soon as pre market actually opens up at 4 a.m. Eastern time there, ended up popping from like 350 up to 7, came all the way back down here. So, it seems active. I don't know what the news is out on this stock. I actually tried checking earlier and I didn't have anything from Benzinga. So it's something that's moving, something that's trading 1.2 million shares pre-market wise. So I'll put it on our list. I do expect the order book to fill in a little bit more, but nonetheless, though, see what this could do going into the open, making lower highs. So maybe it drops off a little bit more first, and then we'll see the support build. So think about that as well. All right, so HMLP. So I stepped into the trading room early this morning, 8 o'clock, as I always do. HMLP was popping at the time, just really right here. It was taking off, building actually a Fausto flag almost, and I was about to call that out. Grant wrote that the news out on it was earnings, which it was. This company reported earnings, so with that, figure, hey, we'll put it on our list right away. Well, There's other news that came out with it. It's not just earnings. What's the news out on this stock, folks? I sometimes like to ask all of us inside our live trading room. Whenever you see a stock up big, it's flat, looks super like flat, like dead. It is a buyout. It's a buyout, and the listed price, I believe, was at like 925. So, unless if it moves all the way up to 925 exactly, and you get what you want, it's just not really worth it, right? It's just in such a tight range here, and we teach that in class. We teach that in the Phase One stock course. How about that? Perfect timing. Not only today are we finishing up the Phase 1 stock course today, but actually this afternoon's class, not this morning, but this afternoon, lesson 4 of Phase 1, we're going to be talking all about news. How about that? So this will be a great example. We'll jump back to this in class, I'm sure, and just go over this and just showing why it doesn't create as good of an opportunity after the news comes out. But I appreciate Rich posting the link there in class. We're going to do the market open here, but then from there, we're going to jump right into class. So, just make sure that you click the link if you want to join early. Just make sure that you're squared away with the class and Zoom and the tech and audio side of things. All right, we keep it going. Finally, this ELEV making a pop. Damn, about time. I mean, geez, this thing was running up early, like I told you. It was kind of off of low volume, though. So even then, like, I wasn't really too, particular about calling it out, at least until we saw more volume join the order book. Well, at that point, it ended up getting really choppy, and I definitely stayed away from it personally. I know one of our students, John, did pretty nicely on this trade, I think in from 395, right? He was, you got two trades for ELEV, $1.15 total. Oof, that's a nice job, John. I mean, from 395 to 450 is like a 50-cent move, basically. So nice catch from him. And, hey, it's pushing up right now. So, yeah, going into the market open, easily I'll put this on our list now. But history could have a tendency to repeat itself. So, what I mean by that is, this has been really choppy aside from this pop. So there's definitely room to have this become choppy again after the open, right? All right, so let's see what else we got here, folks. Just some low volume stuff in between. We got Express up big here. I don't know why. They ended up getting crushed yesterday, the day before. I mean, maybe it's just a short little bounce back up. Maybe it's news. I will check. Express was a meme stock back in the beginning of last year with AMC and GameStop. This was actually like the number 3 kind of from that list. So Express ended up coming out with earnings. The EPS may not compare to the estimate. Sales beat though. Fiscal year comparable sales outlook to increase 8 to 10%. All right, so it looks like positive earnings to a degree. They're up nearly 12% now. Just the issue on this trade, if anything, obviously, is that it's really flat right now. I mean, it moved up early pre-market, but it's just been flat since. So, this could just be a tease, if anything. So, even though it's up big, trading good volume, and it's going to be tradable after the open, really tight spread. It will have a liquid order book. You know what? Let's see what else we got here first, Stephen. I'm sure we'll call out Express after the open, but these trends here in pre-market, really, man, I'll tell you, like Express wasn't looking good. WEN here, not looking good. This is Wendy's. Yeah, Wendy's. Uh, Boils and ETF. Skip over that. GovX. This one is, I guess, holding strong, holding above the 243 level. It needs to really move off that price soon enough, sooner than later here. TikTok, I'd say. Uh, OSUR came out with some interesting news early this pre-market, but again, just simple rule of thumb. Just because news came out doesn't mean it's going to run, in pre-market, let alone at all. So OSUR looks news that came out. OraSure's COVID-19 rapid test selected by the federal government for nationwide school testing. Right. So with that, obviously it ended up making a nice little pop. Early in pre-market, but otherwise, ended up kind of falling flat since, right? Um, so with that, I don't know, kind of same line of thinking with the Express trade. It's more of a tease right now, and even with this, the order book is even more thin going into the open. All right, let's see what else we got here on the loser side here right now, folks. We'll hop on over to the loser side, down 50, well, nearly 54%. The VRCA trade. So anytime you see a stock down this much, you look for what we call the dead cat bounce, the proverbial, temporary squeeze back up. So this stock ended up getting crushed in the after hours yesterday from 550 all the way down. Ended up dropping as low as like 220-ish. Is that even early pre-market? Yeah, 219, 220-ish here. So pretty interesting move down. The thing that captures my interest even more on this trade, aside from it being down 54%, it's actually still shortable on my platform. I don't know if it's shortable on your platform or not, but if it fails to make the dead cat bounce, well, there could be a trade just going the other way. So, you know what? It's down enough for right now for us to put this on the list, right? VRCA. Say the same on Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's likely off of earnings here. Not going to check at this point, but obviously took a huge hit early in pre-market, dropped, popped and then dropped, and then made a little bit of a dead cat bounce to begin. Some huge prints coming in on the tape just recently here. It looks like similar size, so I don't know if that's the same person or what. Right off of 8:52, then shortly after 9 o'clock. So it looks like some big volume getting filled right off at 63. Perhaps that could be some great shorting volume coming in, just given if that were to hold 63 as resistance. So with that, it ended up beginning to shake around, and then right at 9 o'clock, just another massive print here at 62.55. So it's interesting that these volume spikes are similar size. The prints aren't the same size, but when you add these up, it could be. So, it could be the same person looking to take a quick short from 63 down to 62.55 and they cover and get out. I would mark both price levels either way. Just look to see the reaction afterwards to see if you have more buying coming in off of 63 or if you end up seeing more selling kicking in under 62.55. But nonetheless, though, yeah, I mean, going into the open, we'll put the Dick's trade back on our list here, DKS. All right, ASO, Academy Sports and Outdoors. So I guess similar as Dick's Sporting Goods. That's my uneducated guess. Ended up dropping off early this morning. It's kind of pulling back here a bit right now. I just got a thin order book, so hopefully it could fill in a little bit more. But I'm not as particular about this as I would be on Dick's, as I would be on the VRCA so far. Uh, I'm sure that we can call this out after the market opens if nothing else is really moving from the list at first. And Bill confirms it's a sports store discounter like Dick's. There we go. All right. All right, folks, I think that's just about it from me. Let me know if there's anything else up, down, left, right as far as stocks that you'd want us to look at or call out. RGF saying the ELEV moving, which it was before. That was an earlier comment. So, yeah, kind of pulling back down now at least. So just be a little careful on this ELEV here at this point. But hey, we don't have a big watch list here, folks. We don't need one. I feel like I say this often, for any one of us that doesn't attend the afternoon meetings as much with myself, Fausto, with his 30 years of experience, he is so good at keeping it simple. You don't need to have like 8 or 10 or 12 stocks on the, watch list. And sometimes I try and, see the opportunity a little bit more in some of these trades. And therefore, you make a bigger list. And that actually could be a detriment because, following too many stocks is just overwhelming, right? You can't follow just one, but you can't follow 8 or 10 or 12 in one sitting. We're human beings, right? All right. So I'll tell you, I think that we did a pretty good job otherwise. Yeah, I would look for one or two more if there's anything else making a big push. So, I don't see anything else from the chat boards here, folks. I'm going to just take one last look on Benzinga Pro. And then I just obviously want to make mention of one thing before we wrap up here. All right. I got nothing else from the gainer side. And how about this for all of us on social media? I don't always show my Benzinga Pro platform here. This is kind of my radar for stocks that are making big pops or drops or you name it in between. There is nothing here from the gainer side. This is like a rotating or live feed scanner. SBFM dropped 2% in the last 5 minutes, but I don't know if that's shortable or not. Bill from our side list, he says Snapchat from yesterday could be volatile. Yeah, it could be. So, on a day where we don't really have as much to put on the watch list right now, I could easily put Snap on the list just given it was extremely tradable yesterday coming off of news. You would assume for it to be as tradable today, right? So, you know what? I'll do that. I don't mind that for right now. I'm not going to do that for every other stock I look at from this point, but Snapchat in particular, I like. Nice trend. We know it's liquid. It also is shortable if it continues to plummet. PLAB was a gap up overnight, which I appreciate the call from Henry here. It's up over 8%. It's just not really trading a lot of volume right now, right? In terms of following the big money, if that's our whole MO here, if there's no big money to follow, that's tough, right? All right, folks. Obviously, I'd be remiss to, not finish off this meeting by just wishing my thoughts and prayers really to, all the family members of everyone that suffered down in Texas. We're not going to get into, you know, BS politics and all of that. Who cares what I think about that? I have no thoughts on that. Simply put, my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody, down there in Texas, nationwide, of course. Just at the same time, just what happened from yesterday afternoon, I believe that was. I believe at this point it's 19 children, 2 adults that were, tragically killed. So, just point being, all the shit's got to stop, right? So, my thoughts and prayers out to everybody, just all together, and obviously, I wanted to make mention of that. All right, folks. With that, we're going to wrap up right now. For all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, I look forward to catching back with you later on this afternoon at 2:30 Eastern Time. If you did want to join us inside our live trading room, feel more than free to do so by going right down to the link on the banner below right there. If you wanted to send over any emails, any questions to us right here, feel more than free to do so. I always like to post my email here at the end of these streams either way. Josh@ctutrading.com. For Robert, for Grant, for Kurt, for John, for Pete. Kurt, I'll get back to your question here in just a bit. I'm going to write back to you inside the live trading room here. All right, folks, I'm going to post the list first, and then I'll be back on the mic, folks, right at 9:30 Eastern Time for the market open. Talk to you all soon.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.